is what we call
hater shit.
There is no better term.
You know me. If you know me, you know me. If you know, you know. You know, so.
Who else? Who's that last food delivery service? That last who? Postmates.
Hello.
Thank God for Postmates. Hello. I guess it gives their followers a chance to have.
Kedveseim, menjetek már, nézzétek meg, hányan vannak. Annyira imádom az egész családodat. Puszilunk, Roland. Yes, you girl. iPhone X-es nyomszeszál vélemény.
Oh, I love it.
She's crazy lady. Aj, basszus.
Arabic? I think she speaks Arabic. I don't know. Anyway,
Girl, you better stop. Look at Xavier so far away.
My oldest, who is in school at the community college, finishing up her last few credits for high school. We have my middle,
What is wrong with
my son, my middle, who's 16, who is on summer break. We have summer vacation. We have my youngest daughter, who's 10, who has summer camp.
I love that girl.
During the days. And then we have my baby, the 4-month-old Weston, who we're going to visit as we speak. And the situation is incredibly just painful, emotionally destructive. We're still living in that same shelter. We're still living. We've now proven through numerous means. Literally, I've done everything short of posting all of my medical records online, which that's coming soon, so be ready. Just to prove that everything I've said has been 100% truthful to the best of my ability. That there are people who are intentionally and maliciously giving mistruths about my situation, and I don't understand the purpose. They call it snaking the play. I literally looked over at one of the people involved in this and I said to them, the play and players, I'm sorry, this is not a game. This is my life, my real life, my children, my family. This is actually my life. This is not a game, and these people are not players to me. So if you find yourself describing something that you've done to
Why does the
someone
volume keep going down?
Play, this is not Roblox. This is
Stop talking about Roblox.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah, my vehicle, they took it and destroyed it mechanically, and then repaired it while it was stranded in Valdosta, Georgia, at Ben's Tire and Auto. And the person who intercepted my call said that he was speaking to me on behalf of the lot where my vehicle was parked. And the person who owns the lot, it's country down there. These people have wide open lots. It's not like Chicago, where we're having toll lots that are, costing you $500 for a month to park your car there. It's nothing like that. These are country folk, they are kind and they move slower than us from the city, and they have their own, types of lifestyles that don't include charging people the most that you could possibly charge them who are already hurting. The guy was super cool and really nice and empathetic to my situation, an older gentleman, and he said that my car could literally be there for as long as I needed it to be there. I would call him every 3 to 6 months. This was 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that my vehicle was mechanically sabotaged. I just paid the car off through Capital One, a Cadillac CTS, and I paid, I believe, $15,000 or $13,000, and then Capital One gave me a settlement, some sort of a discount.
Poor Xavier.
If I paid $800 on the last payment, they would write off the remaining $2,000. So I did that. They released my auto loan, they released my title, to me, and
Xavier's I'm just gonna stand here and look beautiful.
really was sabotaged. If you guys go back to Instagram, to the One Heather GEE account that's still up, you can see when all of this began. It was 2020, And I had the car for 2 years after that. I finally paid it off, and literally 3 months later is when they stole it. And anyways, when I called that guy from
Look at his shorts.
the lot where the car was parked in Valdosta, Georgia, he goes,
Oh my gosh.
whoever answered, like in his place, it wasn't Ben from Ben's Tire and Auto. He goes, yeah.
Told you they were
that
tight
guy
booty
doesn't work
shorts.
here anymore. I was like, the guy wasn't working there. He owned the lot. It was Ben's actual business. I actually met Ben and his employees. Small mom and pop shop with like a lot of land. It's not a chain or a franchise. And he introduced me by phone and email to the older gentleman who owned the lot where the car was being held. And I'm like, you're not either one of those people, so, you know, who are you? And he refused to give me any more information and said that, quote, my
Look at those
car was
shorts.
sold
Look at that
at
dude.
auction.
Look at that shorts.
And I said, well, that's illegal. Like, you
And
have to
Daisy Dukes.
literally sign my name on the title, because the only way your car can get sold at auction is if you get arrested or commit a crime with
Got
the
that
car,
booty doo.
et cetera, and so forth, which I did none of that.
Why are they always so far away from each other? They like pretend like they don't even know each other.
Still to this day have received zero
What's a corn? I'm sorry. I don't know why it keeps on going up and down, up and down.
resolution on the car situation.
And why it's also
And
stopping.
we're on the train. And we take the train
I guess the train.
Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. If my
Okay, why don't you hit us back up whenever you got some service. And your volume is good.
anyone who's been watching knows that just after Weston was born, we finally, after a year of calling shelters, we finally got accepted to the shelter system. And they told us, like, once you're in, like, you're in, you know? And so
This is so aggravating. It's really bothering my OCD and anxiety. Like, it's so messed up. The volume's going up and down.
at that time. And
Why is it freezing?
I personally was displaced from my home following the little small appearance I had on that reality show that I did not want to do in the first place, but, you know, hesitantly did.
Bullshit.
And yeah, basically, I've been getting harmed, stolen from,
Oh my gosh. Who stole you? Someone stole you.
saved.
I was
And by
stolen
saved,
from
I mean, like, I'll be in a situation where the police will help a person in that situation. But for whatever reason, I call and no one
Look at Xavier looking out the
And
window.
I've talked about this at length. I've discussed the topic of rerouting phone calls. There is a very specific term for it, and I just started taking cybersecurity classes, and
My God.
we discussed doing this with emails. With
What he
text
looking
messages,
for?
With a lot of different means of communication and modes of communication.
A way to escape.
Basically, you can do it in a number of ways. There is an app that can reroute the calls, or you can go onto the actual iPhone and install what's called a call forwarding. And you can do it with Google phones as well.
He's like, what's this bitch
And
talking
when you
about?
do this call forwarding, someone did it to me, you know who, the bad guy, did it to me with 911.
The bad
And I
guy.
was trying to call 911 whenever he would, like, become physically abusive or, like, come home super fucked up. And I would call 911 and the call would be rerouted. That's a felony obstruction of justice. Not allowing someone to call 911 is a felony obstruction of justice. Just for doing that. So they installed a call forward on my phone back in 2020 so that when I
Oh
would
my
call
gosh, you
911,
can-
no one would come. And
Y'all,
that's what I was assuming
Oh my
they were
gosh.
doing in a lot of these other
Don't look.
instances. Like, for instance,
but look. But don't
I
look.
requested a formal
Oh my
on-
gosh.
on my medical record. I requested it in writing. I requested it through email. I requested it over the phone, verbally. And I requested it in person back in
She's taking
2020.
selfies. Look, he's on the
It's
pole.
2024.
Work it,
I
work
most
it,
recently
snap
requested
it,
and
pop
CC'd
it, drop
all
it.
of
Look.
the state's attorneys. I think I even CC'd the judge, my attorney, like all these people.
I think you should just stop for a minute.
To request this formal administrative audit. But there's a lot of like distractions, and it's not the type of distraction that you just say, well, stay focused, you know, everything's fine. It's distraction that demands your attention. For instance, I'm going to visit my 4-month-old son right now. I only have 2 hours. When I leave this visit, we were supposed to be in this shelter where we are until we got our apartment or townhouse. That is what we were told by numerous different resources. Including the place we're at right now. The shelter that we're in right now also said that.
Does people not know that's Xavier in the background?
We get a letter that says, June 30th, this shelter will be closing down. Then we get another letter that says, July 8th will be the shelter's last day. Then one of the staff verbalizes that the shelter's last day will be July 25th. So the staff that I work with, shout out to Jessica and Shay, I don't know the rest of their names. It used to be Aaron and Noelle. Noelle was the daytime supervisor, and Aaron was the representative from Equitable Solutions who would go.
Oh my gosh, this is so boring.
To the shelter staff and make sure that they were complying with city standards. I've emailed the mayor. I've emailed multiple other sources, but I've done everything to advocate for myself, and I've taken what Jessica and Shay say. The supposed manager now is Cornelius, who's new. He just got there about a month ago, and he told me that they were going to be open until the 25th of July. So Jessica and Shay said definitely the 8th, and not to listen to anyone else, to just listen to them. So I'm like, okay, well, what's going to happen after that? I'm breastfeeding my son Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh my gosh, we don't need to know your schedule.
Put it in a refrigerator that we is our personal little refrigerator. It's like a mini fridge that one of the staff members who's no longer there, shout out to Stax, gave us. So Stax is gone. She left, didn't even say bye, which was heartbreaking. I guess she just didn't know that she was going to leave. But she was awesome. She was such a good advocate, and she helped us out a lot. She gave us that mini fridge to keep forever.
Well, that was nice of her.
Because most shelters, they don't accommodate you with a small fridge. We had to literally keep the breast milk in a cooler on ice cubes. And we were spending about $120 a month on ice cubes alone, just to keep the breast milk cold. And this is a priority for me because it's something that I did for all 3 of my children. All 3 of my children were, breastfed until they were 6 months old. I supplemented with formula when I needed to, and I wanted for Weston, especially since I don't have a full-time job right now, I want Weston to be breastfed until he's 1 year old, especially because there have been several weeks.
I feel like this is going to be a long one.
They have not been feeding him the breast milk,
I need to get my coffee.
I am his mother, and that is my right. So I'm doing my best to stay focused, but here's the problem. I have breast milk that I'm producing. I have to keep it in a refrigerator for it to be usable. It lasts 4 days from the day it was pumped. So I carry it in this refrigerated Trader Joe's bag, and I bring it to him on Wednesdays. Friday and Saturday's pumps, I either take a bath in them. It's good for the skin. It makes your skin softer. But not only that.
Do you and Xavier take a bath together?
Genetically created for me and my child. So it's just a good thing. It has antibodies, and I want him to have that. He deserves that. And I deserve that, to be honest. So in addition to that, it has a tremendous other health benefits. Your chances of getting breastfeeding.
I see you, Xavier, getting closer and closer.
I've done it now 4
Heather,
times.
you're annoying.
So as for your children, your children get those antibodies that eliminate these certain types of cancers, and it gives you immunity to tons of other stuff. So I want to keep going with that. It's very important. On top of that, some other considerations that Xavier and I have is that we are in court fighting for custody of our son. Being that we have to do all of these services through the court, we have to have together a stable place to live to bring our son home. So Aaron, the previous representative from the city of Chicago, he was meeting with the city and telling them what was going on, and they were no problem. We will ensure a seamless transfer from either this shelter to another couple shelter or another family shelter, and then ultimately to a shelter, to an apartment or townhome. And that was supposed to happen within 6 months of the time that we entered this shelter. We entered after 2 weeks in the temporary shelter, Shield of Hope, and we're now in the 6-month shelter, and it's only been a little under 4 months, and they're saying that we're going to have to go to a different shelter. So today, following my visit with my son, so put this into perspective, please try to see things from where I'm at. I have to communicate with all of the people from all of these facilities. I have a task, which is like a drug program. I have a task supervisor. I've never had an addiction in my life, but I have to
Oh my gosh, stop lying. Dang, I come right back and you're lying.
Test regularly. Whenever they say it's unscheduled, but randomly, I have to meet with these people on a regular basis. I have to attend 2 hours of group therapy every week about drug abuse and substance abuse, which again, I've never had in my life. There has never been a substance that I could not say, no, I'm good on that. If I ever used something, mine is for pot. They're literally, and so is Xavier's. We both got referred to drug therapy for pot. But whatever, no big deal. I'm complying. I'm doing whatever they ask. I'm trying to not let the tremendous amount of responsibility and energy draining interaction burn me out, because I have nothing left at the end of the day, guys. Nothing. I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is text all my children, look at my calendar, see what I've got for the day, see what they've got for the day, text my mother, see how she's doing. My father and I speak in the evenings primarily, or sometimes the afternoons. If I have some sort of life-altering bad news that's got me crying, I'll call him for comfort throughout the day. But I try to keep up with him 2 or 3 times a week. My children is every day, multiple times a day. So my eyes open at 5, 6, 7 a.m. depending on what I have that day. First thing I do is text the caseworker for DCFS saying we're on our way or we're not on our way. My children and my mom, and it's just it's a lot. Just that, just keeping up with the task worker, the caseworker for my son, my 3 big children, and everything else that's going on in the housing situation. It's exhausting. Then you add in the fact that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going back and forth to the suburbs to visit my son, the baby, and the 2nd and 8th of every month, I'm sending food to the big kids, to my 3 big kids, and all of those things, not to mention my own personal needs. So, with regards to my housing, we have to race back, because that promise that this was the last stop before our apartment or townhouse was clearly not, able to be kept for whatever reason. I'm sure they have a good reason. I don't know what it is, but we have to now race back there today to meet with the city representative about the next steps. And we have this small fridge. We have my clothing. I have the baby's stroller, the baby's car seat.
Ooh, we got loud.
And I pump every 4
Why would you be doing
4
that?
to 6 hours. If I notice my supply is running low, I increase the amount of pumping, and as long as
I don't want to talk about breast milk no more. Please stop.
I can push it to 5 or 6 hours, but that can't be consistent. Sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 5. And then I feed the baby, breastfeed the baby on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Bye.
But if I stop pumping throughout the week, my milk will dry up, so I won't be able to breastfeed him. So it's there's so much going on, and I have to stay on top of everything. On top of that, I'm using LinkedIn, Indeed, they're integrated, and direct applications to send my resume. I have my resume posted on my Instagram. I have my resume posted on here. I have my resume posted on my YouTube channel, which is GoPro Solo if you guys are looking for it. I go live in all of those places, and I have 5 Instagram accounts since 2020. That several of them have been logged, hacked, and then someone changed the password. I think because they don't want me to be able to keep adding, they want the information from that time in my life to be readily available. But I have no proof of that. So I just keep on creating new Instas. I keep growing them, they're growing. Now I just had this Instagram open the day after Easter, and it says 6,000 followers, I believe, or 5,000 followers. And then I have
Nobody
cares. 6,000 or over 6,000 followers. My very first Instagram is at 60,000 followers, and I haven't worked on it since 2019.
queen. Thank you.
I've worked with Cash App before, lots of work with Cash App.
Like, bring us something new to the table every now and then.
What did he say?
Get off the live.
They continue to like increase my amount that I get when people sign up. So I stay using Cash App and I stay using all these services. But that's like all going on simultaneously while they're like uprooting us and giving us no clear direction or communication about what's going to take place. We're on year 5. We're on year 5. You know,
Oh my gosh, how are you so not, like, annoying? Someone's going to want to beat your ass on that train. How has that not happened?
I wasn't really given the opportunity to say no. I said no, and like they were like, okay, you know. He was like, you have to do this for me to come home. They were trying to give him a 12-year sentence, and they decreased the sentence to 3.5 years as part of like all the stuff that he had to do. So I felt truly obligated to do it, and because I had a 60,000 person following for the genre and niche of business I was doing, I felt like this cannot harm me. Have you ever heard of that saying, no negative publicity? There's no such thing as negative publicity.
Oh, yeah, perfect picture. Love it, girl. What's Xavier doing all the way back there? He made it. He made his way back. Look how far he is from your ass. He's like, I am not with her. Got his booty and his dangling just hanging out. Excuse my language. My gosh.
What I love, which is
Can we just
creating
come back?
content and being a mom and using makeup and dressing cute. Like, who wouldn't want that, you know, deal? So I really was excited, and it has just been such an uphill battle, you guys. Such an uphill battle. So I'm trying to now, as we approach the station to where we're going, I'm trying to
Nice.
now compartmentalize all of that that's going on so that in this visit with my 4-month-old, I can breastfeed him calmly, I can be present, I can be mindful. But you know, if you've ever been a part of the system, it doesn't work like, oh, I just check out. They ask questions, they have things to say. Like, it's not just you walk in there and then you're calm. You know, I'm dealing with a
Dude, let people listen to the
several of
announcements.
my visits have been canceled, and I have to reschedule them. So there's just business associated with every one of these interactions that makes compartmentalizing and being calm with it like
gotta be
incredibly
kidding me.
difficult. You know, if not impossible.
This is a joke. You are a
But
fucking joke.
I'm still, you know, doing the best that I can with regards to that. And my son doesn't deserve this. I don't deserve this. My children don't deserve this in any way, shape, or form. My child deserves his mother, me, you know, to be there for him every single day. And I'm
Bitch,
not,
that was your fault.
you know, refusing to show up. I'm fighting to show up, you know, with everything I've got. And that's every day for all of my children. And there are 4 of them.
Lie.
So, and for Xavier, you know, Xavier
Aw.
has been really used and just kind of thrown aside in a lot of different ways by various people. So I'm trying to keep it together for both of us. And
Right.
the truth of the matter is, when I like get one of those notifications,
Please
like,
don't
oh,
tell me
we're going to be
racism.
transferring you to a different shelter.
Oh my gosh, some of these comments I cannot with.
I'm expecting that.
I love her still picture. Oh, it's so funny. Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
I'm expecting that.
Yeah, you're expecting. She's always expecting. Did you get a note on your bed yet? No, was that a letter? You will receive a
I'm
letter.
expecting that.
A letter on your bed. I'm looking for a letter on my
I
bed
think
every
of my
day.
own mental health. I have to tell myself that they're doing their best. I'm sure there are some of them that know for a fact that, you know, something is or isn't the way it is, but they say something misleading. But I can't drive myself crazy thinking about that. I have to assume that these people giving us all this information are doing so to the best of their ability, you know, and that they have a genuine desire to help people. You know, that's the way I have to see things. So that's what I'm doing. And I'll update you guys later, about what happens at this meeting with the city. Some lady came to our door yesterday and knocked on the door, and she was like,
oh gosh,
do you guys want to go today? The van will come today. I'm like, no.
Go where?
She's like, so you're not willing to go? I'm like, I'm willing to go.
Go where? What did I miss? This is what happens whenever I don't pay attention.
I said, the olive branch doesn't accept us. We came here from the olive branch. The olive branch makes people throw away all of their belongings. They wanted me to throw away
that place. Okay.
a brand new stroller and car seat that we had just bought for West.
So it may you need to.
They wanted me to throw away all my clothes and shoes. They wanted me to keep a backpack and a duffel bag. They were even giving us a hard time about putting the breast milk I had with us in the fridge. They're not going to let us in there, pumping breast milk and putting it in anywhere. Like, it's just not a good place,
We can't be in the tent either.
If we're at a place that is able to satisfy all of our needs, which none of our needs are,
Bro, they're not going to be there forever.
What's the word I'm looking for? High maintenance. It's not high maintenance to have a mini fridge and, that's it, a safe place to sleep.
I don't have a
That's not high maintenance. I don't know what you guys are used to out of life, but I've worked really, really hard my entire life so that having access to some place to store my child's breast milk, that's not asking too much. And that's not just my opinion. That's the reality. We live in a world of so much abundance, and so many people have so much. There are mansions, there are 5, 10, 20, 30. I saw a $60 million home listed on $1 million listing the other day. If we have, with a gun range in it and like all this stuff, if we have $60 million properties on market, we can most definitely find a way to serve the most underserved communities with a bathroom, a safe bed, and, a place for their belongings to be kept. And if we're truly going at this from the perspective of creating solutions rather than, bullying or complaining, then the solutions are to get these displaced people into a home, into a safe place, and then let them take it from there if they can. And if they cannot, assign them a caseworker who's gonna say every week, hey, have you applied? Yes, ma'am, I have. This is who I've applied to. Great, awesome.
They already have
as that caseworker begins to notice that people need additional monitoring and resources or less, they kind of adjust their, monitoring according to need. That is what we do in a solutions-based society. In a society that is focused on creating solutions rather than bitching and complaining about how, well, I should just quit my job and go live in a homeless shelter. Really, Susan? You want to go live in a homeless shelter,
Talk like
Susan?
that again.
I don't think you
that's
do.
so funny.
I don't think you do. You should see the food.
You should see the food. The food's very nasty.
You want to live under a curfew, Susan? You want to have only a couple of items that you're allowed to have. You want to be separated from your friends and family. You want to be not allowed to have visitors. You want to be not permitted to have your friends come over and check on you. You want to be scared to even have a fucking package delivered. No, you do not, Susan. You do not want to be homeless, and you should not quit your job.
Fuck is Susan. What the fuck, Susan?
Having these, providing these things, these basic minimum accommodations to people who need them is life-changing for everybody in a way that's positive and impactful. Leaving people out on the street to suffer does not help anyone.
She just said, who the fuck are you talking to?
So, with that being said, good talk, you guys.
Good talk.
Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your support. They did the same things with my Cash App that they did a while ago. I don't really know why or how to fix it. What it feels like for anyone who's technologically inclined, who's listening, what it feels like is they may or may not be running a cloned version of Cash App through my phone.
Shut the fudge. Are you kidding?
The customer service that Cash App usually has is not at all the same. I'm noticing a lot of inconsistencies with communication.
Cash App is
not
fine.
only that, but Cash App is, and always has been, an app that does not require ID verification for use. All you need to use the app is a simple sign-up registration. It takes less than 2 minutes.
That's why she wanted it.
So I don't know if Cash App has drastically changed their terms of use.
Too many reports.
Which could be the case, but even if they did, I've never met an app that has worse customer service 4 years later than they did when they first opened. You know, when they first opened, the bots that they use are usually very primitive in nature. They don't have all the exact questions. As an app ages, the questions that people will have and the problems that they will encounter become more familiar and predictable. And so those questions are able to be answered, with, as I said, predictability. And when you're working with a live agent and a bot that's utilizing AI function, the questions that I've been asking, it sounds like there's a child on the other end, you know? The AI would most certainly be giving me a more complete answer. In addition to that, Cash App supposedly recently started allowing notes. They call them notes.
They've been doing that.
And when you send a money request, in the memo line, you're allowed to say what it's for. Well, I created a brand new Cash App account. And as I said, this is how my sponsors, as I call them, and the people who donate to me, this is how they have been supporting me through all of this nonsense. This is how they've been paying my phone bill, how they've been buying me shampoo, conditioner, clothing, etc.
Not you.
Oh, speaking of which, you guys, I got a 4-pack of leggings on Amazon for $22.
ADHD on the real.
They're beautiful.
We thought the live was over.
I love them. So soft, so nice.
Thought she was done.
If you want the link, just send me a DM. But anyways, in the memo line for Cash App, they're saying nasty words. Words that most
nasty words.
If you think of how they rate movies, like PG-13, R,
Give me an example.
You know, whatever the ratings are.
Not a fake one.
Most apps are running like PG. Anything more than PG,
how would you even
AI
know?
will filter out. Most
Did you
of
put
the time.
something nasty in?
Most apps, Cash App included. They have got this version of my Cash App running on NC-17. Okay?
I don't know what that is.
Or maybe even X. The things that these haters are saying in my memo line are absolutely obscene. And I'm reporting it to Cash App support, and I'm screenshotting it to death, and I'm sending them all of this, information, and they're straight up just like, oh, well, what do you mean? The fuck do you mean? What do I mean? Anyone will know what I mean because AI knows what I mean. Humans are definitely going to understand if I say, look at this explicit, harmful and offensive content that's being sent to me. Any human or even some entry-level AIs, most AIs are going to know what words are explicit and the context for them. Look at ChatGPT. You could say some sort of elementary statement and receive a whole entire paragraph that sounds like you have an Ivy League education now from ChatGPT. So we know the technology exists, So that's why my best guess is that they're running some sort of clone software right now on my phone.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know if this TikTok is getting out, or if this is a mirage itself.
We got you. We got you, girl.
But I'm letting you guys know that that's taking place for the record.
For the record.
Other than that, it's just my family, my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandma. I call her my Gigi. The kids call her Gigi for great grandma.
Okay, let's get family away. Out. Come on, stop.
I haven't been able to sit down at a holiday dinner with them since 2020.
Because of you.
I'm hurting.
Dang.
My entire life has been predicated on
Do I need to
the family structure and the stability that it provides, whether we were quarreling or fighting or not getting along. We never missed a holiday. We always put our differences aside to catch up on holidays and be there to support each other on those special days, birthdays, holidays, etc. Obviously, the perfect family dynamic is that we have each other every day, 24/7. If one of us needs something, the other one picks up the slack. But not everyone is as privileged to have that.
Oh
So
my
I was
fucking
very
gosh.
grateful for what I had with my family, but I also felt like I needed more. I would cry a lot. You know, I would be like, man, I just want to go back to my mom's. I miss my mom. I want to go home. When I was, 23, 25,
You should have did
I
what you needed
craved
to
that,
do.
that connection to my family. And I thought that just being
The
able to be there on holidays and birthdays was not enough. Well, in 2020,
Oh my gosh.
I was put to the ultimate test because even though I have, minimal telephone communication with them,
I get it.
I have not been able to sit down at the table for a family dinner
ADHD
with
is a bitch, man.
with my mom and my grandma, my dad and my stepfather, my brother, my sister.
My
I have a
abuelo.
brother who doesn't even know me as an adult. He's just aging into his adult years now. He's in his freshman year of college, and I haven't been able to sit down since 2019, 2020. He was a freshman. He was a teenager. He was a middle schooler. So was my daughter. The last time I was able to go, spend time with my whole family. So it hurts, you guys, a lot. It hurts a lot, and I'm doing my best to compartmentalize that as well. It's really tough going through all of these issues and situations when I'm business-minded, I'm business savvy, I'm a good communicator. I'm, for the most part, as I said, incredibly honest and kind. You don't have to challenge me, just like any other human being. If you abuse me enough, I will show you a different side of me. But for the most part, I try to always stay true to those qualities in myself: respectful, manners, things like that. So it's tough, and we're doing our best, Xavier and I. You guys know I was not looking for a relationship when I met Xavier 2 years ago. When I met him, he told me that his brother worked for the district attorney's office and that they were on board to assist us with everything that was going on, and all of the police reports that I had made and times that I had been robbed and the issue with my vehicle and the time that I was bludgeoned over the back of my head and the time that I was jumped and stabbed 11 times by 3 women with screwdrivers. And I had never experienced any victimizations in my life like that. I had never been violently assaulted in my life ever.
We back at this.
Prior to 2019. So we still have no answers to any of that stuff, you guys. None of that stuff has been answered for.
No answers.
And ironically, rather than me being subpoenaed to court to be a witness as the victim in all of those cases where people are serving time, the man who bludgeoned me and beat me up was supposedly sentenced to 18 months only. I had to have staples in the back of my head. I couldn't even work for several days. I was covered in bruises from my head to my toes. He punched me, he stomped on my body, and he took a tire iron out of the backseat of my car while I was at the car wash washing my vehicle and began just bludgeoning me over the head repeatedly. Some truck drivers interfered, someone called the police, and they caught the guy at the scene. I wasn't even called by the court system to testify, about that case. So it's very curious to me, and I explained this yesterday in a really nice way that I'd like to repeat. My problem is not with the police because I think there's something deeper. I'm 37 years old. If I had ever been,
we already talked
robbed
about
or harmed
this.
in any way prior to 2020, I would call the police and the police would be there.
Yep, I know.
So what about 2020 to now has changed that? And that's where I'm at. I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking with logic and practicality for solutions and an explanation that makes sense.
Get help. Find Jesus.
But I still don't have one. And as I said, how ironic it is that now I'm in court defending myself, against all these allegations. And I said this before a lot of times, and I'll say this again. The DCFS system, they investigate everything. So all you have to do is call and say, say you don't like someone. You call and say, oh, so-and-so did this. They will literally go over there and get in your child's business. They will meet them at school. They will come to your home. And it's happened to so many. And the most crazy part of it all is that there are bloggers who have been talking about this in an effort to expose this system. And they are being filtered from mainstream internet. You have to have like some sort of special, either direct HTML access. So the algorithms are not working to circulate truthfulness that they feel may fearmonger. As a matter of fact, a lot of it is getting marked as spam or scams when it's not, when it's actually truthfulness. So I hope that all my tech friends can help us out. And, I do have a desire to get back into tech and start learning about these things because...
No, girl, don't. It's
please,
okay.
you guys, don't let them silence the truth. When these things are happening to us, we need to find solutions together. Okay. And, like I said, when you don't know, you just don't know. And someone could be a school teacher hearing things like this, and this could change the course of their career and the way that they handle situations. So I'm just saying, please, don't allow the internet to become a completely one-sided, biased database. Let it be really what it is, and let us as humans, with the assistance and guidance of artificial intelligence or the other way around, create solutions. Let us move forward in a way that creates solutions to these problems, because we're far past the time in evolution where we can simply say, well, we don't know. We do know nowadays. We definitely know. And if we don't know, we can most certainly find out. If the only reason or the only thing preventing us from finding out is money or resources, we have an abundance of those in this world, do we not? We have detectives, we have FBI, we have investigators, we have private detectives, we have moles, we have informants, we have all of this investigative, intelligence.
Every time you think she's gonna stop.
If we don't know, we can most certainly find out. So let's start finding out. But then, once we find out, let's fix it. I'll keep you guys posted with what's going on over the next few days. Like I said, my primary concern right now, as it always has been, is to remain as calm, stable, and balanced for my children's benefit as possible in my communications with them. To be as honest and truthful and provide the most reliable information about my situation that exists. Despite some pretty big emotions and fears. The homeless thing. I was sexually assaulted while we were homeless.
Girl, come on.
I was robbed multiple times while we were homeless. I was bludgeoned while I was living in my car. My fears are not irrational. They stem from situations that have already taken place that I pray to God I never have to experience again. I pray to God no one ever has to experience them again, but specifically that I do not and that my family does not.
Hey, bye.
So you guys have a great day.
Bye. See you later.
And if there's anything that you could do to financially contribute,
no, thank you. Good day.
Please help me out. Have a good day.